So I have a confession to make. I really don't enjoy the beach in Hawaii. Whoa! Yes, I was born and raised in Hawaii, but I'm just not a beach person. And I feel like this is something that I can never really talk about because it's one of those taboo opinions that you can't really share because of where we are. Because I have the feeling that if I say I don't like the beach, people are just gonna say, hey brother, you don't like the beach? Leave. But I'm gonna put myself out there and risk my local Kamaaina status by saying that, yeah, I don't really like the beach. And as I've gotten older, it's kind of lost its charm after the first 24 or so times of going to the beach. So in this video, I wanna talk about 3 reasons why I don't like the beach in Hawaii. Now, I'm not saying that I don't enjoy looking at the ocean. I mean, I think it's very beautiful. The water, the sound, the waves, I mean, that's amazing. And in fact, they have studies that say that if you look at the ocean, it actually improves your health, like your mental health. It reduces things like stress. But if I really look at the last 3 to 5 years of my life, I probably went to the beach on average maybe once. And before that, if I count the entire decade, there were probably a good number of years that I didn't go to the beach at all. And this is despite the fact that I live 10 minutes away from the beach. And as I'm starting to think about this, I can't just be the only one, right, who doesn't really go to the beach in Hawaii. So please let me know in the comments below if I'm the only person who doesn't really like the beach. All right, the first reason is the beach is dirty. There's actually a lot of trash around, and despite them creating a 5-cent bottle recyclable program here, there's actually quite a bit of cans and bottles and just trash all over the beach. Now, I know if you're local, you're probably thinking, well, the beach that I go to, oh, it's just pure clean and amazing. And the beach where I currently am, Kamaaina Beach Park, is not a very good example of a good beach. And I totally get you, but it's the closest one that I could get to for the purposes of this video. But when I talk about the beach being dirty, I'm not just talking about the trash. I'm also talking about the sand. Because if you've ever gone to the beach, gosh, that's sand. The sand gets on everything, right? It gets on the towel, the bag, your hair, your ankle. And then from there, it transfers into the car and it goes on the car floor and you gotta vacuum it later. And then once you get home, it gets on the floor in the house because you're bringing all your stuff in there. And eventually when you go and take a real shower, it accumulates in the shower. And don't even get me started on the beach bathrooms. The second reason is that I think the beach is actually kind of boring. I mean, after the first dozen or so times, what exactly are you supposed to do once you get here? I think I'm just missing out on something because I don't really see what I'm supposed to do. And maybe it's because as a kid, I didn't really go to the beach that often. I mean, I went when I was like a little baby, my parents took me, but once I got older, I had things like sports and after school things and hanging out with family, not at the beach, at grandma's house. And so going to the beach, I'm kind of clueless on exactly how it works. And so if you're local, maybe you can help me. Maybe you can tell me what exactly I'm supposed to do at the beach. I mean, am I supposed to go swimming at the beach? And if I'm here to go swimming, I actually would prefer a pool because, well, the water is cleaner, it's not as choppy, and there's actual lanes to swim in. A lot of people claim to go to the beach to go swimming, but whenever I look around, I don't see too many people actually swimming. I see a lot of people wading around in the water. Is that swimming? But once you're done swimming or you get out of the water, then what are you supposed to do once you kind of sit on the beach and dry off? Because most of the time I'm seeing people, they're just on their phones. And if I'm gonna do that, I figure I should just go home because it's AC, I got snacks, and clean bathroom is like 10 feet away. Now, of course, you might wanna get a tan, right? And that's good, you can get a tan, but frankly, when I'm at the beach, I'm trying to find the nearest spot to shade in. I'm trying to find the shade so I don't have to actually be in the sun. And I think that's the reason why most people actually bring those big pop-up tents so they don't actually have to be in the sun the entire time because it's kind of hot. And just as a little side note here, this is one of the things that confuses me the most about going to the beach. what am I supposed to do with all of my stuff? And I'm talking to like the local people here. What am I supposed to do with all my stuff? Because when I go to the beach, at a minimum, right, I'm bringing my wallet, cell phone, keys, and my slippers. Where exactly am I supposed to put that while I go and swim? On top of that, I might bring other things like a water bottle. I might bring a change of clothes. I might bring snacks. I might bring sunglasses. It's where exactly am I supposed to put all of these things while I go and enjoy the beach? Because let me tell you, I'm not wearing one of those lanyards with the little clear pouches. No. Maybe I should leave them in the car. Yeah, right. I'm not leaving my stuff in the car at the beach. I'd rather not. I mean, locals, I trust you, but I don't trust you. And so while I'm in the water, if my things are on the beach just sitting there, I'm constantly having to look back at the beach. And that's just like anxiety and worry the entire time. How am I supposed to enjoy the water if I'm constantly looking back at the beach to see if my stuff is still there? And like right now, the beach is pretty empty. There's not really that many people, but when it gets crowded, I mean, it's a lot of people, and you can ask a whole bunch of Japanese tourists when they leave their stuff on the beach unguarded. They come back, no wallet or purse. Now I know you're probably thinking, well, you just have to have someone wait and watch yourself while you go into the ocean. And that's good, you know, that's great. But that means that I can't enjoy the beach by myself. It means that I can't just go by myself and enjoy it because I'm constantly having to worry about my stuff, or I have to bring someone along just to babysit my stuff. Or it means that if we go together as a group to the beach, that someone's gonna always be left behind. They're gonna have to stay on the beach while the rest of us go swimming, and that's not very fun. They had this great thing at Almona Beach Park. They offered these lockers, and it was like I don't know, it was like out of a truck or something, and you could rent these lockers and you could put your stuff in them, and then you can go enjoy the beach and come back. I thought that was a brilliant, great idea. In fact, I wish most beaches had lockers, but they don't, unfortunately. I'm not sure what happened to that business. They might have gone out of business, but great idea. And the third reason is that I'm too busy and tired. I think it comes down to just priorities. What do I prioritize with my time? And frankly, I don't really prefer the beach in that sense. By the time the weekend comes along, I'm so tired from work and I have a whole bunch of errands that I need to run, that going to the beach, while it sounds like a great idea, it's just not something that I'd pick over the other things that I have to do. And this happens over and over and weekend after weekend, and eventually it's been 4 years since you went to the beach. I think some people outside of Hawaii assume that locals go to the beach every weekend, and I'm sure that there are locals that do go to the beach every weekend. I'm just not one of them. But the thing is, when it comes to busy work schedules, it's really hard to do that. We have people working multiple jobs. You always can't carve out time for the beach. With my busy work schedule, I'm lucky if I get maybe a few hours on the weekend just to be able to relax. For most people, they're up by 5, 6 o'clock at the latest. They have to drive through traffic, then they're at work all day, then they have to drive home in traffic, cook dinner, and maybe relax with some Netflix or YouTube or Instagram, and that's their day. Times that by 5, and then you're just looking forward to the weekend. And when it comes to the weekend, you really just want to relax, or you got to go to Costco, or you got to go grocery shopping, and then you repeat itself over and over again. And yeah, that's a lot of life for a lot of people here. For me, the weekends are for sleep when I can, or relaxing, or reading, or exercise, or making videos. Those are the things that I prioritize. And when I look at those things, they just don't really work with the beach. Of course, there are times when I think to myself, well, it's been so long since I went to the beach. Maybe it's time out to go back. And I feel that societal pressure, or that local culture pressure of, you know, I gotta go and get a tan. As you can tell, not really too tanned here. But then I think about all the packing that it's gonna take, and all the mess and the dirtiness and the sand, of course. And then I think, why bother? And I hope that you don't think that I'm some kind of beach hater or something. I know making the argument against the beach may make it seem that way. But actually, I realize that as a new dad, I'm probably gonna have to go to the beach a lot more, especially because, you know, my son's gonna wanna go to the beach, and he should have that opportunity to enjoy the beach. Even if I may not necessarily enjoy it, it's really gonna be for him. And I think the beach is a great place for families. It makes a lot of sense, right? The kids can go, it's free, and they can enjoy the water, just have a good time. And I guess I just asked that before you go judging me and typing a bad comment about how, oh my gosh, this guy, he's not even a real local. Or, you know, like, what do you mean he doesn't like the beach? He's in Hawaii, he should just leave. I would just ask you, wherever you may be, whether you're local or not, to really just think about how many of the things do you take advantage of in your area. Like, for example, if you're in Colorado and you live near the mountain, like in Boulder, Colorado, like how often do you actually go hiking? And how often do you go snowboarding or skiing when there's nice fresh powder? And for some people they go a lot, but I think for a lot of other people, maybe some people who are older, who just, it's not that interesting anymore, maybe they don't go that often. Maybe they might go once every 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, right? And so I just ask that you would think about, where are the things around you that you don't always go that most visitors or tourists enjoy? Because I think sometimes we take these things for granted, right? I mean, they're just always here and we don't take the time to appreciate them. And as my son gets older, I'm gonna make sure to take him to the beach and we can have some great family time. And who knows, he might be one of these beach boys who just loves the beach every weekend. And I think that's great if he wants to do that with his free time. Because despite my own personal reservations, and that's putting it nicely, I love my son. And if my son loves the beach, then I'll be here taking him to the beach. Thanks for watching, and aloha.